Hello, I'm the X-Toycat, and welcome back to episode 278 of my Minecraft Xbox Update Adventures Let's Play. This is a Let's Play where I'm playing through the various updates that have come out for Minecraft on the console, building stuff, killing stuff, and of course, destroying stuff, like this planes over here, by the way. That's a fun thing to witness at the start here. But yeah, basically in this particular episode of the Let's Play, I'm going to be doing lots of Nether stuff, because at the end of last episode, I was in the Nether, as you could probably work out, and I was just killing a bunch of wither skeletons, so I continued doing that after the episode ended, and then a little bit, earlier today, and I was having quite a bit of fun with it, and it made me realise, there's a bunch of stuff I need to do with the Nether. Why not do it all today and have just a Nether-themed episide? Sorry about the cat noise, but yeah, why not just have a Nether-themed episode? Because one, I'm gonna get the last wither skull I need for a wither fight, because I actually did get like 2 of those in between episodes. But 2, I need to get a bunch of netherrack to finish off the gold farm. I figured, why not just go ahead and do that? Because I've got a super fast pickaxe. I can get, I think I need like 5,000 netherrack or something. I can get that netherrack really, really quickly if I just do this crazy technique. I'm warning you, look away from your screen for a second. It kind of hurts, but yeah, if I just do this quick technique, I can get that netherrack really, really quickly, right? So why not just do that anyway? And therefore I'll do that. And then also, I need to get a bunch of ghast tears, because ghast tears are now useful in Minecraft console, because they're used as part of the recipe for, the end crystal, and those are fun things to have regardless, but also they're useful for regenerating the end dragon. So let's get all of those things together in today's episode. So yeah, Nether themed episode, hopefully you'll enjoy it, and just keep in mind that this is in place of livestream Thursday this week, because obviously, so I'm out of the country. I figured I should just really mention that right now. This is a little bit pre-recorded. Oh, it's very pre-recorded. I don't know how something can be a little pre-recorded, but yeah, it's pre-recorded so that you can obviously have something going out on this day rather than just nothing, because I like to make sure the live streams at consistent times, 8 PM every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and if there's no live stream, then this is like the closest thing. So I can pretend read out comments if you want, but instead I'll just talk to my cat and she can be YouTube comments today. So, what's that, Cookie? You're stroking your paws. Yep, that sounds like a YouTube comment chat already. But yeah, basically that's what we'll be doing with today's episode. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So, now that's all out of the way, let me clarify actually where I am right now, where this starts, because I'll be flying over the US, I think. I will have just either landed in Chicago or I'll be flying. I don't know, time zones are hard to work out. Sometimes, like, oh yeah, well, if it's 8 PM as this goes out, but it'll be 6 PM as I take off. Sorry, it'll be 3 PM as I take off, but it'll be 1 PM as I land, or, some crazy stuff like that. Because the cool thing about flying in the air is, like, a lot of the time, you actually can land as you take off, like, because of time zones. It's cool stuff. Anyway, in today's video, while we do all the stuff with the netherrack mining, because I think with the way I'm going to get a bunch of netherrack and, like, actually not waste time, or, not waste, I guess, mining stuff, because use a lot of durability from pickaxe, is I'm going to make a tunnel from this pickaxe to the, from this nether portal, looking at the nether portal, but same pickaxe apparently, to the other one, because I figure, I've got 3 nether portals that I know of. There's a 4th one over there. Why not have a tunnel which can take me really quickly from here to the other one? So we're just going to mine down, and we're going to see how far we can get with that. And we'll put it all in a chest, or we'll just start putting it straight in the gold farm. And by the end of this episode, we should have finished the giant netherrack cube. You'll like it if somehow this is your first episode, you'll like my netherrack cube, I think, because it's a silly monument to netherrack, but still, it's a pretty cool one if you ask me. So yeah, let's just mine down a bunch. We're actually doing it relatively slow, which is... Oh, there's a lot of lava around here. We're doing it relatively slow just so we can make sure we're doing it exactly the right place, because we need to, like, get this curve just right. We need to... Actually, oh, wait. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the lava too, because that just seems like an unnecessary risk at this point. So, place the torch there, all sorted. Continue going down, and I think, actually, we're probably pretty close. So if we do a little bit of circular mining like this, we'll probably be close to a full inventory already. Yeah, we've got, like, 2 slots left. So let's move on to the next thing I want to do today, which is killing ghast. So there's a really cool glitch, or... I don't know if you want to call it a glitch or like an exploit or whatever you want to call it, but a way you can do something that's kind of counterintuitive, because basically the way the looting enchantment works, which I have on this diamond sword and have been using to get with skulls, the way the looting enchantment works is you don't need to kill an enemy with this weapon. You just have to have the weapon out when the kill happens. So, for instance, let's say you have a bow, total hypothetical, and you kill a ghast with it, then as long as you have the sword out when the arrow hits the ghast, you'll get looting. And in the case of a ghast, I think up to 3, I think it might. No, up to 4, maybe, gunpowder, and up to 4, maybe up to 5 gunpowder and up to 4 ghast tears, which would be pretty cool. So, let's do that now. As you can see, ghast dies. We got how many ghast tears? Just the 1, maybe? Okay, well, that's going to disprove my point. But how much gunpowder? If it's more than 2, I think that proves something. And if not, we'll do it a few times just so we can show it's real, because that's the sort of fact you hear all the time, where someone just says, oh yeah, trust me, my mate Dave, or my friend Steve, the diabetic one from like 3 episodes ago, yep, that I just made up in my head. But yeah, him. Oh yeah, he told me that this entirely random fact. Did you know that Kazakhstan is actually named after, Cadbury's? And it's like, oh, that's a random fact that doesn't even make sense. But why would someone just make that up? And I think that it's a real shame that like knowledge can just pass around this way. Because on the one hand, this is really useful. Like most of the time when it's about useful stuff, like oh yeah, you know the mob spawner thing. Like okay, I knew I missed there, so I could. Darn it, we missed again. So for instance, right with this update, there is a glitch with mob spawners, which means that if you have any in your world, if you go past them, they turn into pigs. That's the sort of thing where you want people to, you know, get the word out, so people know to avoid their mob spawners, or like with the one, you know, TU25, I think it was, when if you renamed a world, at least it or something like that. That's a good thing to have people know, and it's good that people will just believe when it's something like that. You know, that's good stuff. But every now and then, I guess someone is out there just creating random stuff up, and or that's how I used to think it was. Like, oh yeah, there's just a guy named Tom, and he's the source of all the world's rumors. He's the one that said that, like, you know, Karen is really, you know, Karen is really a man, and that ghasts in Minecraft smell like peppermint if you can smell them. I don't know, let's just random facts like that, so let's do this properly this time. Okay, there we go. So now, as long as I can survive on the way, because I'm not sure that's possible, we should have gone at least, or probably, statistically, more than a few of these. So we got 4 gunpowder that time, which should prove the point. But I don't think we got any ghast tiers, which is a shame. So yeah, we're not doing great in the ghast tiers, which is what we're really here for. But at least we're getting gunpowder, which is otherwise somewhat tricky to obtain. And honestly, I really like in Minecraft, there are certain things where it's not the most efficient way to do something, but you get a side product which is actually kind of useful to you. So there we go. Okay, this is the one. I can sense it already. Okay, so how many ghast tiers? 3! Perfect. And also 4 more gunpowder. So yeah, pretty good stuff. We'll kill a few more, and then we'll go to the overworld, and we'll use this Netherrack to work on the cube. Yeah, so basically I used to figure the way this came up is like there was one dude who's the source behind all these random rumors. Like if you think about the most famous one that most people believe is fact is like sugarcane and sand. Like, oh yeah, it grows fast if you put it on sand. That's not true at all. Just someone figured, oh yeah, it makes sense or something. And but yeah, the way I assume this actually happens, because I've made this mistake a few times myself where I've not said it was fact, but I was like, that's the sort of thing I'd say was fact. But you know, I'm the sort of person that tries where possible to like fact check something. Or, like, you know, make sure I don't say something if it's entirely based on my head. But, like, so if you don't know, the term for white is Caucasian. You've probably heard that at some point, or you filled out a form where you had to say, like, yep, I am a Caucasian. If you are a Caucasian, I mean, if you're not, you probably shouldn't be filling out forms. So, oh, I think I missed the ghast here. I think it went straight into the fire there. But, yeah, so, you know, that's a term you might have heard. And there is also a region in very far eastern Europe, part of the ex-USSR, called the Caucasus region, right? And I just assumed logically that the words had to have some link, like maybe they're the whitest people in the world there, because it's the Caucasus region, it's next to Asia, and also the people from there are white. I'm pretty sure, I've never seen them, and I was like, Caucasian, or something like that. As it turns out, entirely, you know, unrelated link, and there's a lot of words like that. So again, you might assume that there's a link between Austria and Australia. Actually, Austria is just it comes from the German word for, I think it's like from Eastern Empire, and Australia comes from the Latin word for Australia, which means like new land, or no, I think Australia is the god and Australia. It's a combination of 2 words basically, but they just have entirely unrelated but coincidental names. There's a lot of stuff out there like that, and basically when a coincidence like that happens, you just assume that, like, because humans are bad at thinking about coincidences, you just assume, oh yeah, it must be that way, because otherwise, if people didn't assume that, if people didn't just make assumptions like, oh yeah, people are called, you know, all the people in Turkey are called Turks, which I don't think that might be true actually. I don't know for sure. Again, that's another thing I recently learned, that like, oh yeah, there's a type of people called the Turkic people, and they're not from. I mean, anyway, basically, you know, there's this sort of thing where if you don't just make big assumptions like that, then the amount of minutiae you'd have to like triple check and learn would be silly, and especially if you think about humans, like until a few thousand years ago, we were just hunting in caves and stuff. We don't have time to be like, so the spear kills everything, is what you'd assume. You wouldn't have time to, you know, ask another caveman, like, does it kill everything or just most things? Like, could it kill a cat? And he'd be like, yeah. Could it kill a dog? Yeah. Could it kill an elephant? I don't know. Let me ask this guy. And, you know, it would be a silly change. So I kind of get why it's the case, but misinformation is one of those things that, like, is honestly some of the, you know, some of the YouTube videos made that some people say are informative. I appreciate that and all, but I think most of, like, what drives me to make videos when it has information, like on the, you know, whether it's on the second channel, like, to do with some of the Minecraft stuff, it's just when there's, like, a wildly wrong rumor out there, and I'm like, I have to correct this. And in fact, you know, this is a fun little story, I guess. It's story time with Soycat. Hope you all enjoy this random tangent. So, oh yeah, this is the cube, by the way. I have to finish. I'm gonna finish that wall first because it's the one that's like easiest to see and probably most satisfying to finish. Truth be told. So let's go all the way around and just do that. But yeah, basically, like I was saying. So, one of my most popular videos ever. It's called. Well, it's in like the top 10 or the top 5 or the top 15. It's one of my, yeah. It's got a lot of views. It's like over 1 million. Like, look, very very well doing. It's because the video title is like mods confirmed or not. Because at the time, whoever, the people who made YouTube videos about it aren't actually like console YouTubers anymore, or aren't even Minecraft YouTubers. But a bunch of people made videos like, oh yeah, mods are confirmed because there's this one image out there. But the one image had like come from like some dude who admitted it was just like a random thing he made. But these people just looked at it and they're like, we're gonna take that, we're gonna turn it real. And this just irked me so much. I made the video like disproving it, and people liked that so much because it had all the same information as the videos where they pretend it was real, except then it also was like, I guess telling them the truth. And it's like, I guess apparently that's my thing. I get so annoyed that it helps people out, which I guess it's I guess it doesn't really matter about the intent as long as you get the same result. But I mean, personally, I quite like the intent usually, right? Like I feel like most people do judge the world by intent. In fact, that's how we judge crimes, right? Because you got manslaughter, which I think is if you kill someone like accidentally. I hear the term a lot, and that's what someone's told me, but I'm just assuming, because that's just what some random person told me once. And you got murder, and murder is worse than manslaughter, which is worse than accidental manslaughter, which is all three of those. Sorry, or is better than, or is worse. I don't know. But yeah, then you've got like conspiracy to murder, which is way worse because you planned it way in advance. There is an intent part of crimes. It's like at least some of what we judge the whole system on. And that's how I judge like people's character. I'm like, oh yeah, well it happens that you were really nice to me by accident. Like, if you fall over and you drop a £50 note in my lap, like that's nice. But the intent of it was just falling over, right? So I don't know. I feel like there's some valuable point in there, or maybe you just listen to that. And you're like, I don't know if I disagree with any of that, but maybe there's a point in there because that's how I hear it listening back. But yeah, so because speaking of intent, this is something that like I've been thinking about a little bit because I got a Toblerone for Christmas. And yeah, Christmas is like quite some time away now, right? It's been like 2 or 3 weeks. I guess we should start the countdown for next Christmas. Get our Christmas decorations in already. Actually, one year I actually had my Christmas decorations up, or my family did, I should say. And I feel like that year was way better because when Christmas came around, we were just like, yeah, we prepared for this. We're here already. So just a tiny little point in case, if you are in control of whether you take down your tree, just think about how annoying it was to take it out. And realize, it's almost a fun story to leave it out. And sometimes it's about the story. But yeah, Toblerone. So if you're from the UK, you probably know where I'm going with this already. But I did get one for Christmas. And it's actually very annoying. I know it's a joke to be like, oh yeah, Toblerone sucks. But it really does. The fact that they... Because basically, there's a concept in, I don't know, economics, marketing, products, whatever you want to call it, called shrinkflation. Where because... obviously you don't want to increase the price for a product because people hate it when you increase the price on things. Like that's a weird part of like the way consumers work. But yeah, people hate it when you increase the price on the thing. They just go, no, we're not going to buy it ever again. And you don't want that if you're a company because that sucks. But sometimes, costs go up or, you want to make more money or whatever the case may be. And what you do instead of increasing the price is you decrease the size. So you take like a jar of mayonnaise and you make it like 10% smaller. And no one will probably even notice because who's measuring their jars of mayonnaise? I know I'm not. I don't really buy jars of mayonnaise. But if I did, I probably wouldn't be measuring it. But, most people don't, is the point I'm trying to get across here. And, we did just fine. And basically, yeah, this is a good way to kind of like, make money and not really annoy people so much. So the way Toblerone did this, though, because they did the exact same thing that so many other companies do, but they did it in like the most blatant and annoying way because, again, most companies tried to make it look pretty similar, but the way Toblerone did it is they took their towers and they like kind of shrunk them down. They expanded the gap between each of them. Should we use the sword on them? Yeah, why not? Let's see what happens. I guess we'll get a bunch of raw flesh is what will happen. Yeah, basically, like I was saying, so they made the gap between the little pyramids, little wedges of it. They made them way, way bigger, and this is super frustrating because you get less chocolate, and it just looks really stupid. And at first my reaction was just like, oh yeah, that's a thing people do. But as it turns out, because I looked into it a bit more because it came up somewhere and I read into it. Supposedly the reason that they did it that way rather than doing it more subtly. Because at first it almost seems like it's an honesty thing. It's just because they is because the people who sell the boxes to them, because they don't make their own boxes. Again, this is just what I heard. I don't know for sure how true it is. But basically, the people who sell them the boxes weren't willing to make smaller ones, or they wanted more money to do that. So they're like, no, we'll use the existing boxes. We'll just, spread out the chocolate a bit more. So, yeah, that's what they did instead. And a part of me wonders, like, should we just say, oh, yeah, but good job on being honest about it? Or should we say, no, you were lazy. The only reason you didn't lie to us is because it was easier not to. And I don't know if that's commendable at all. It's just one of those things I think about, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to this one at all, so I'll just shrug my shoulders and say, maybe we should care, maybe we shouldn't. Who knows for sure, though. So anyway, let's climb up to here properly. Use my bizarrely shaped ladders. I'm probably going to have to like take a bunch of ladders in here and do this probably at some point. Oh, by the way, while we're speaking to Toblerone, I need to get this one out of the way, because I'm probably going to see some at the airport, and Toblerones are like my favourite test of like how much is an airport like overcharging you. Because, it's a fact everyone knows about the world, Places where you buy things charge more than how much it costs them for a thing. Like, that's just a well-known fact of the world economic... wait, one sec. Get out of the purple. The world economics, everything like that. It's a necessary part of business. But, so when they overcharge you or gouge you or something, that's something no one can be down with. Like, if it's a, £1 bottle of milk, then you don't want to be charged £50 for it. That's something no one wants. Like, but everyone can agree that, like, oh yeah, £1.50 or £2, or wait, let me convert to dollars for anyone who's confused, and they're like, oh no, you might be talking about weight, Toy Cat, because I know that confuses Americans sometimes, because you still use the the imperial system, and I get it, don't worry. So let's say there was a $1 bottle of milk, very different example here, and then it costs $2, you'd be fine with that. But if it was 50, you're like, oh yeah, that's not okay, never coming to your store again. So I use Toblerones as like my favorite measure of this, because they're one of those products that are just they sell at this ridiculously high price, even in like competitive supermarkets in the UK of like £3-4. But as a pro tip, if you live in the UK, you can buy them for £1, literally £1.00 at Iceland, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I bought one maybe like 6 months ago, so last I checked, you could anyway. And yeah, it's just my favorite thing, because it's like clearly everyone else is just making this giant, already like 4 or 5 times profit on it. But because most people expect it to be £5, and airports, I guess they're just like, well, let's set it as high as we humanly can while still selling. It's like 10, 11, 12 times the price of it. And again, that's one of those interesting things about, like, I don't know, either psychology or market, or maybe psychology marketing. Then maybe go, interesting to know. So yeah, we're making good progress on this wall right here. I'm glad the Toblerone talk was fighting words to make this go better, I think. Oh, by the way, just a tiny thing. When I killed all of those zombies, I got no gold nuggets. So maybe like they don't drop those anymore, because that's one of those things where I even forgot. Like it's one of those changes I think I've heard about, but I'm not entirely sure. And if it's true, then I'm like absolutely terrified, because how am I going to craft golden apples? Or maybe that's because we can craft golden apples still. Why would they nerf the gold rate? So now what we're actually going to do is we're going to kill a bunch just to make absolutely sure, because that's like key information to make sure we've got lockdown. So while we do this before we go down there, because I've got this wall to build. It's not, when you say you got to build a wall, you got to build a wall. Those are the rules, right? I'm pretty sure. But yeah, basically, while we build the wall and get this whole thing done, because technically it is just a wall until we finish the other ones. I want to talk a little bit of flap flying, because I mentioned again, follow up from a earlier episode. I was talking about how like pretty much any interest you look at, they all seem silly from the outside. Like even when I hear about one, I'm like, yeah, that's a little bit crazy. The fact that there are people really absurdly into this thing. What was it recently? Like, I know, it was like a spice enthusiast. It's like, their whole hobby is spices and going to spice conventions, or it was something like that, in that vein. And I was like, that's kind of crazy. But, like I said before, any hobby is really silly when you get down to the bare bones. Any hobby. Sports, knitting, biking, skiing, whatever it is, it's silly because, you're just doing an arbitrary thing. So, yeah, with that said, I mentioned about flying and how, like, I kind of got into, like, the whole, like, world of, like, oh, isn't it exciting that there's this new plane that does this, and, this airline's doing that route. And as it turns out, I forgot, like, one of the key facts in there, and also the reason why it can be kind of exciting, because, okay, so I think it was some Australian airline, I think maybe Qantas or something, announced that, like, oh, yeah, we're going to be flying to Perth from London non-stop. The longest flight in the world ever, 19 hours or something. And that's, like, cool stuff to think about, because everyone can put themselves in the situation of, oh, yeah, 19-hour flight, imagine that. Like, that's long enough to go to sleep at the start of the flight, wake up, have, like, a full day of working on some form of laptop or something, and then wake up. Wake up. No, sorry. Wait, and go to sleep on the other side, and then wake up as you land. Like it is a flight that long, right? And that's something that everyone can imagine. That's like the cool sides of like any hobby. Like I think if you look at any major piece of news, you're seeing like the extreme highlight of anyone's hobby. Like for instance, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was like a ex-girlfriend stepped out or something. But like they worked in the train company, so they were like really pumped. Like, there was this one big announcement. I think it was sort of Crossrail actually. If you live near London, I've heard of that. And there was like, oh, it's on the news. The big thing's been going on for like 12 years now. It's in the news, and it's like exciting. And if you think about it, the news is just a collection of the highlights of like everyone's hobbies. Like think about it. If like a skier breaks the world record for like fastest skiing. I know what world records there actually are. I know they do lots of weird jumps. Then that would make like worldwide news, and that's for everyone doing that sport. That's crazy. Like the UFC. I have never cared to watch a UFC fight. I don't really understand the concept personally, but I guess I vaguely understand. But yeah, but whenever there's a big thing like, oh yeah, this female fighter who was undefeated, or the Irish man who's also undefeated, I think maybe, or is just doing very well. Oh yeah, they lost or they won and they got this big thing. That makes like big news for everyone. And I just realized, that's what the news is. It's just a collection of highlights of everyone's hobby, and it was almost beautiful in a way. But yeah, so I think we can hop down from the wall after we finish with this stack right here, because we've got like 2 more, and should we just finish? Like, can we finish it? I think we actually can finish it. No, let's not. So let's use the last 2 stacks up and stare at the zombie pigmen, because if we don't, they'll despawn. Or in fact, I think even if we do, they will, because despawning rules, in case you're curious, if you're like 64 blocks away from someone, you pretty much despawn. Actually, wait, okay, one thing I need to try, and this is a very risky thing to try, but I want to see if you jump up backwards off something. So if I fell backwards off this, for instance, could I fly and actually live still? So again, I've got 78 levels, so I have to like save before I do anything like this, just in case, because I'm pretty sure it should work. But I'm going to try and fall off the back, see what happens. It should be fun. So, oh, I guess I have to do the last this there too. So, yeah, it feels pretty good to have finished all of these, because Nether, even though it seems like it's way easier to get than cobblestone, it actually isn't, just because you have to go out of your way to get it. Like, admittedly, a ghast is going to blow up a big... also, look, zombie pigment's gone. But admittedly, a ghast will blow up like a big chunk of it every now and then. But most of the time, you just have to like go mining like I did, and that's kind of tedious to some level. Whereas, cobblestone, you're mining all the time for other stuff anyway, so it kind of happens. So, as a fun little thing. But yeah, we said we'd jump off the edge backwards. Oh, okay, it works. So as long as you press A in midair fast enough, you can save yourself from imminent doom. That's pretty useful to know, I guess. That's pretty useful to know. Oh, and also I've got to switch foods now. So I guess while we wait for these to spawn, because there was so many when I was doing nothing, but now there's none. Oh, do you see that little glitch up there? Oh no, it's just like if you look between the ladders, there's like it's not a glitch, but it's like a mind trick or something, a visual trick, where you can kind of see it looks darker because it's a particular part of the netherrack. Pretty interesting stuff, if you ask me. Anyway, let's head this way. Would have made sense really to fly over there. I could have done that a lot faster. I kind of want to climb up anyway, just so I can fly across it. But we can't, so I guess we'll kill the mobs on the way, so we can feel like we're being useful. Because I need leather anyway. Oh, yeah, that's... See, boom. I just remembered now. I need leather to repair the elytra, because it's like halfway done, and we have, what's it called on there? We have unbreaking on there, but not mending yet. So we do have to, like, every let's call it, every, 10 episodes, we'll have to repair the elytra. Which means we need a bunch of leather, which, conveniently, cows drop a bunch of when you've got the amazing sword. Honestly, I don't know how I've gone this long in my Let's Play world without having, the looting free on, because it just makes everything take less time. It's like fortune for diamonds. Like, oh, instead of going looking for 20 diamonds, go look for 6, and maybe the rest will just kind of happen itself. Which is, I don't know. I think that's kind of a cool thing, right? The fact that all happens. Oh, but I was saying with the 19-hour flight, that's pretty cool. But then there's stuff like, oh yeah, well, as it turns out, Norwegian are now doing flights to, I think it's Puerto Rico. Is it Puerto Rico? Yeah, I'm thinking of the US territory that's not a state, but probably should be a state, but no one wants to be a state. That place, if you're from the US, you know what I mean? They now do flights there. It's like, oh, I kind of want to go there if it's, with this airline, because Norwegian, if you don't know, they do super cheap flights. And it's like 150 instead of like 450. And then it's like, oh, yeah, that's good news to know about. So, yeah, learning about any hobby, when you really get into it, on it. For some level, it's pointless. But on some level, pretty much any hobby is going to have some real-world value, which is something nice to keep in mind. Anyway, we're going to repair our leecher for the first time now. So how much does it cost us? Because, oh, not much at all. I was expecting, like, way higher costs by both leather and other things. Yeah, that's been pretty good. So let's put all of our leather in the chest. Because I need to make a bunch of item frames or something at some point. Maybe leather armor, diet. I haven't decided yet, but it's nice to have, right? Oh, my levels! Yeah, I have to be cautious with them at this point. Because, obviously, 6 levels is a lot more at level 80 than it is at level 30. So, thing to keep in mind right there. Anyway, let's go back to the Nether. Let's kill a few more things. Fill up our inventory again. And then come back to the overworld. Oh yeah, let's also kill some zombie pigmen because super curious about that one. So zombie pigmen. I guess that got a giant group over there. Very convenient. So if I kill all 3, none of them drop gold nuggets. I'll know that it's been patched out. Oh no, it's gotta be true, doesn't it? Oh, pro tip, in case you're curious as to why they're not attacking me, if you can kill a zombie pigman in 1 hit, even if it's at full health or whatever, you don't alert their friends. So yeah, we're going to get more rotten flesh, which I guess is nice. Very excited. No, we don't even get more of that, do we? Yeah, that's like the biggest bummer in the world. Like, the one thing, my gold farm is now a rotten flesh and gold sword farm. How could they do this to us? How could they do this to us? So that's super interesting by itself, honestly. Okay, one more. This can't be true. This can't be true. By the way, in case you've seen this in a video already, this is pre-recorded. That's why, just in case I mention that in a future video, it's like I learned from this. This is the first time I learned, and this has made me kind of sad, honestly. Like, yeah, I've got a giant rotten flesh farm that I'm currently working on right now. I'm gonna finish it just because it looks kind of cool, at least in my opinion. But there really isn't a point in me doing so. Oh, I attacked it a little wrong. There we go. So yeah, I think the one problem with doing it this way is chasing up on the drops is a little bit harder than it otherwise would be. Because normally you just try and get as close as possible. But like this, you're almost encouraged to get away from it. Because it makes it easier to guarantee you'll get some loot you want. So we got the Ghast eyes anywhere? Or, yeah, what are they called? Ghast tears? Oh yeah, Ghast tears. Not Ghast eyes. Well, that's a shame. But we've still got plenty of other stuff to kill. Yeah, that's a bunch of bad luck all in one place. But I've always been of the mentality that just because you get a little bit unlucky. Wait. The mentality that bad luck. No, I don't have any mentalities of bad luck. You know, luck is entirely random and perceived, and it comes down to the whole coincidences thing. Really, I mentioned earlier, where like humans are so good at just making up links between things. So like, oh yeah, well, you know, a roulette has if you flip a coin and it lands 5,000 times on heads, you know, the 5,001st coin flip, everyone is betting for tails. Or, you know, some people are going to bet for heads, but and they're going to say, well, it's got to be heads. It's been this 5,000 times in a row, right? Like, everyone thinks that, you know, the previous results affects the future. Even things where it's, like, provably not true. Oh, I guess you can't really prove it's true, but even things where, you know, like, logically everyone can go down to the level of, like, oh, yeah, that obviously isn't true. Which is, it's mind-blowing to me, really, because, one, that's how people lose a lot of money in casinos and whatnot. Like, seen that one firsthand. But two, it's just how, like, a lot of people, like, therefore then think, like, oh yeah, coincidence A means coincidence B. So, oh yeah, the best way to find Enderman is to go in a desert, because when I'm there I find more Enderman. Clearly they just spawn there more. Or yeah, that's what people say, like, they spawn there more. And not true, it's based on a little bit of truth, but it's not really one of those things. Or like, oh yeah, so Soy Cat, I think there was something that started this originally. You know, Soy Cat's first video was in 2009, and also Hurricane Katrina was in 2000. I don't know if that's a real hurricane, but Hurricane, let's assume that was in 2009 too. Therefore, Soy Cat did it. And although that's crazy, because, you know, we don't apply that to people, even when we perhaps should. Like, oh yeah, this man has committed 12 murders. Well, that's just a coincidence, I reckon. No link there. However, on the other hand, lottery numbers been the same 2 weeks in a row, so let's hope they go up 3 times in a row. Or, yeah, something like that. That's how people work, which is a little bit broken when you really think about it, isn't it? Okay, there we go. That wasn't quite as useful as I figured. You know, should we just go back to mining Netherrack? There's no way you can get set on fire when you're mining Netherrack. It's a happier experience, I would say. It's a much happier experience. So let's go right now. Mine the tunnel a little bit more. Oh geez, yeah. Let's go down here now. Let's just pray we don't fall into like a giant pit of lava or something. And let's go find the other tunnel. Let's just connect the two up. And in the meantime, we'll get like all the Netherrack in the world. Which, for the record, after this is done, I don't think there's going to be any other use for Netherrack besides like maybe smelting into Nether brick. Oh yeah, actually, wait. That's a genius idea. Just came up with it right now. Smelting Netherrack into Nether bricks, a good way to like convert a ridiculous amount of, like this, which, we can get the XP back for, into then XP, obviously, if we want to do it that way. But then also, if we need to, we can then turn it into Netherbrick, which is way more valuable, but kind of harder to get because you only have one Nether Fortress, so that's a cool little thing to do, I think. Anyway, speaking of cool things to do, we're going to kill a few more Ghasts, because they do have good drops now. Unlike some of us. Gonna get a few more Ghast tiers, so we have like 10, 20, like some good number that we can take home and be proud of, maybe. And then we'll finish off the first wall off the gold farm, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, like live streaming, it's oh yeah, I was meant to point at a cookie every now and then and say, oh yeah, well she's stroking her paw some more, or not stroking, licking. That's all she's been doing this whole like episode. That's probably a good. I mean, I guess there's probably someone in the chat that is just licking their paw all episode. Well, I guess their hand. I mean, if you're licking your hand, you're probably not paying attention to the stream. Right? There's probably someone doing it anyway, but it doesn't mean it's not so weird. Also, darn it, what? There we go. Oh wait, even then, I need to learn to like pull the bow back all the way. Okay, there we go. Oh no! One more time. I'm getting really bad. Well, not again. It's not bad luck because I probably could just be better at my aiming on this. But jeez, let's get out of here. Wait, is that Ghast here? No, it's not. So yeah, basically, pro tip for this is don't let Ghast attack too much because they set everything on fire, and that fire hurts you later on, which is the real killer when it comes to Ghasts. Because like this is just a nightmare mess, and there's no real good way to clean it up either, besides just to mine it all away, which is not really an ideal solution, is it? Anyway, let's do this. Killed the Ghast, set myself on fire a whole bunch. I think this is why you should bring a fire resistance potions to Nether. Like, just to have one less stress. Be like, yeah, set me on fire, Ghast. I challenge you. So what I might actually end up doing is having, like, some dispensers next to my, because making a bunch of fire potions, it's not actually, fire resistance potions. Not like the fire potions from my 10 crafting recipes video. But yeah, making a bunch of fire resistance potions, it's not actually terrifically hard. Like, you just need a bunch of, what is it, magma cream? I thought magma cream was health. No, health is glistening metals. We need a bunch of magma creams, so let's start right now with you there, buddy. It's a sign, I think. It's a sign. And then we'll we can make 3 potions for every 1 magma cream we get. And then we can just go through the batch process till we've got like 20 potions. Put a hopper above a dispenser. Put a burn on the dispenser. Now every time we go to the Nether, I should be doing this away from fire, shouldn't I? Then every time we go to the Nether, now we don't have to deal with it, because a splash potion can last like 3 minutes. I mean, if you get a regular potion that you drink, but like, who has time for that, am I right? So, we throw away the 1 bit of Nether quartz. Now we can get a bunch of this stuff, and again, we just make sure we use this sword with our looting on it. We're 1, going to get the XP back anyway, but 2, we can get a whole bunch of magma creams. I mean, in theory. I guess the small ones don't have a very good drop rate, do they? Useful stuff to know. So, what we'll do instead is we'll find a... I guess we have to kill the big ones. Okay, pro tip right here. This is just in, hot from the presses from my 1 test right here. Because I remember the drop rates for magma creams goes down as the thing goes down, because they're easier to kill. So just kill the large ones, maybe the medium ones, or like give it a try. But you don't want to usually kill the small ones, because they're not worth your durability or whatever. So pro tip right there. Okay, let's do this. Can we do it? Yes, we can, as it turns out. Just got a mine. Okay, yep, mine our way up there. Good opportunity for some Netherrack. Until we get to... Oh, I don't think it dropped any Ghast tiers, actually. Or if it did, they're not around here somewhere. Oh, no, okay, so, yeah, usually I like to follow the XP trail, but I guess you'd see it if something like happened. So, 1 more try at this, then back to the overworld, back to finish that cube, and to get the satisfaction that I deserve. Okay, do we see it? There we go. Okay, Ghast tiers, 2 of them, whatever. That's like progress. It's not as much progress as you could perhaps want, but it's like, it's enough to like get the ball rolling. And now because, oh, I probably need to kill these two. Probably not in the fiery Nether. That was perhaps a bad idea. Yeah, that, you know, as far as regrettable decisions go, low health, low hunger, Enderman kill, probably not up there in the decisions I would make again category. Cannot recommend at all. Cannot recommend in the slightest. Oh, I guess he stopped caring about me at least, so. Back to the overworld we're going to go. We're going to finish up the portal. And, geez, my inventory is just a little bit of a mess here. We're going to finish up the portal, put the Ghast here somewhere safe, and continue with our happy little progress. So, Netherrack. Should we put it in, or let's just put something in there, like gunpowder and a stack? Actually, no, let's take stacks out. Let's just build the stacks up. I know I put stacks in and took them out, but at least I got different stacks out. Really, actually, you know, that's like an interesting, like, a big philosophical question. Oh, wait. What did I see over there? Oh, it's just the water through water glitch. But it's like a big philosophical question, right? Like, okay, well, if you put a 1,000 netherrack in a chest, which already has 1,000 netherrack, and then take out, 1,100 netherrack, how much of your original netherrack have you taken out? And they're like, ooh, does it really matter? Do you just get to say it was all 1,000? Can no one truly know forever? It's and it's like this is a weird thing to follow on from that with, but like it's like with the I think like it's called like executioner squads, where basically, well, is it executioner squad like Suicide Squad maybe, like the movie, but not for suicide. I think the name's a bit misleading if it's called a Suicide Squad, but yeah, where they you get 4 people, they all fire a bullet at someone, and that's how you make their whole thing happen. And the idea is like, if everyone does it, then everyone can pretend they're not the one that did it. But I feel like if everyone's complicit in doing it, then it's basically the same thing, right? Like, it really shouldn't be a better solution to be like, oh yeah, well, I did this bad thing that I clearly don't want to do because I have to do it this way. But at least I can pretend I didn't comply with it. But it's like, well, if you hadn't done that, it wouldn't have happened, right? It's like, oh yeah, well, I guess really this is a bad system we just invented because it makes people sound better. And honestly, I think that's a good way to describe like most systems, where it's like, we don't know the real solution, so we just made one that makes you feel better. And I know that sounds awful on the surface, like, oh yeah, well that's like kind of depressing to look at. Why end us on bad systems that make it sound like that? But realistically, it's a good thing, because it means that there's still improvement to be made in the world. And in case you, again, to link back to a previous episode, in case you think all the ideas have been taken and your one is not possible, then that's not true at all. Anyway, I hope you did all enjoy this episode of the Updated Adventures Let's Play. If you did all like it, like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot. And let us know you do like the giant netherrack cube, which is finished from one angle at least. Share that if you really liked it, subscribe if you're new around here, and I guess I will see you all in the next episode, which will be next Monday. And in that episode, I'm not sure what we'll do yet. I'd say it'd be best in your comments, but it'll probably be done before this episode goes up. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy it, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.